Alright guys, welcome back. We are going to be jumping back into Oz versus EffOrt, game number 1, where we left things off. And if you are just joining us now, it was quite an interesting opener. We saw a lot of lane pressure, really doing a lot of damage to Oz. But Oz has been able to play out of it, and now finds himself trying to even things up quite nicely.
He had a Mothership Core up his sleeve.
He did.
So to speak.
It got a lot of kills.
Yeah, I think it's on like 26 or 28 right now.
Yeah. So that's not too bad to try and even things up. A lot of Zerglings there. 1 or 2 Roaches that decided to move forwards. But as you said, we left off in a position where Oz was moving out into the middle of the map. So why don't you kind of tell us again why you kind of liked this movement out here from Oz?
Yeah, because he's going to be trading no matter what. If he goes for some good, if he gets some good force fields off, he's going to be killing units, not losing much except energy on his sentries, and also he has so many sentries. So you might as well use them before they become a little bit more useless later on in the game.
Yeah.
The army supply right now, 36 to 40, but a lot of those units are in production right now for EffOrt. And look, if Oz attacks now and force field behind his army, he could get some free shots at those units into the third base of EffOrt. And
has to be very careful. Yeah, they didn't split too much off here. Got a few at the front, but there's still a lot of damage being done to those sentries.
Wow.
Has to recall out.
Maybe those force fields, they could have changed everything if he had gotten better one, or even if he stayed up the ramp here, he could have gotten a few more warpings to help with this. And now Oz finds himself in a very awkward situation because he dropped down 2 extra gateways just before moving out. So he's going to find himself on 6 gateways. He's getting a blink and only +1 right now. So whereas usually you will be getting +2 at this point. So he's getting the robo as well to be able to detect those roaches because he knows there is a lot of them. And they could have burrow as well. I mean, Oracle are good, but if the one Oracle dies, he still needs to have something to detect. And I think from there, Oz, he has a choice. He goes for a third base or he goes for a very strong 2-base timing.
Well, we're going to see Oz trying and move in with these Oracles again to do some damage, but Spore as well as Queen should be able to shut that down for a little bit. Not even a drone kill just yet. Has to fly on around and find more vulnerability points, and does find a few drones, so nicely done here. Meanwhile, the other Oracle in the middle of the map is just keeping an eye on where those Roaches are.
I know every time I say this, they go for a third base, but I think Oz is going to go for a 2-base. Because he has completely cut pro production. He's got 18 on the minerals in his main, 16 is natural, and he's been making only units. And now EffOrt, he sees the amount of stalkers there is out on the map. He's going to lose a few Roaches, and he should know what's coming. He has to get a lot of Roaches, Zerglings, and Hydralis to be able to hold this. He doesn't have a Makarach. He went for an extra base instead of this. He sees there is no third base, buys opponent with the Zerglings and overalls that he has placed well around the map, and getting 36 Zerglings now. He has to be careful not to engage too early.
Oh, it's important though for EffOrt to move out that choke point at his natural though, so these force fields don't sleep him. Pardon?
He engages way too early here with some nice blink microform. Oz should be able to do well, but actually there is a flank coming in from behind.
Exactly.
And Oz is not able to reinforce just yet because he doesn't have a pylon nearby.
Yeah, has to defensively blink back a lot of those Stalkers there as opposed to individually, and he is losing quite a few of them. The Zerglings will funnel on through here. That's a lot of Hydralists that are going to hold the high ground, and those Stalkers are waning in numbers, so he can't really do anything here, can Oz?
And the force fields were not great here once again. EffOrt, he prepared the concave before engaging. He forced a lot of force fields out of his opponent, and the Hydras being behind the force field, they didn't really care. They were still spitting on those units of Protoss.
Well, they were, man. This is what I wanted to say, though. The fact that EffOrt took that engagement there, I think, was really clever and not allowed the Protoss to move up into the natural, where it would have been much easier for him to force field things off. But now, Oz is on the defensive.
Yeah, I mean, he has only Stalkers. They only have +1. He hasn't even started +2. He's going to get an extra gateway. He hasn't resumed pro production, so he's still all in. He's going to get as many Stalkers as he can and go for a follow-up attack after which I think once it fails, there is no way he can win anymore. And EffOrt has played this so well. Now he was thinking about the counter-attack, but he's like, well, you know what? I want 4 bases, you want 3. Why would I counter-attack? I would just wait.
No, doesn't need to do too much. He's thrown down a Revelation, has Oz on some of this army to keep an eye on it.
And he has prepared such a nice concave.
Yeah, and but that's going to slightly be negated there. And he throws down a second Revelation as well, so he can keep an eye on some of these units. But the Zerglings will flood on forwards. No force fields here for him to actually deal with this. He might even try and focus down the rocks, but that would have been very, very dicey indeed. If
kill the rocks. Kill the rock tower.
I don't think he's going to in the end. I mean,
Went behind, kill the rock tower.
went behind, kill the rocks. I mean, it would have been kind of a neat idea to try and kind of seal some of these units out, and he's actually established himself a good cave, concave on top of this ramp. Really good blink control here so far from
I think
Oz.
EffOrt, he traded well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He killed a lot of the stalkers.
I mean, look what he's reinforcing with, right? 18 roaches, 8 hydralisks.
Imagine there had been like 2 or 3 sentries here to force field this ramp. It would have been much better here for us, but not having those. He's going to be chrono boosting all of his gateways now. He's still on full stalkers. And he mined out his main. So he had to transfer a lot of probes to his natural. And I mean, 24 out of 24, this is going to run out very quickly as well. He's already mined a lot from it.
And all Oz can try and do now is hit this 4th base, right?
Yeah.
But with EffOrt just setting him units up as well as he can do, it's really difficult. EffOrt actually just pushes straight on down here, realizing that there's actually no sentries and force fields.
There's too much.
And there you go, GG for game number 1. EffOrt will take it after what was a very interesting opener to that game.
And we talked about this. Oz, he has his own and specific style that he likes to go for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets him punished, basically, for it, because it's going to be very risky build. Like the one he did now, if it works, it's great. You're in a good position. Like you said, it was a much more economic build than opening with a quick gas when you go to gateway expand. Then again, its weakness, if you're facing a quick Zergling speed upgrade, you can take a lot of damage if your opponent breaks in. Now, EffOrt, he recognized that there was what was happening exactly. He went for the timing, it worked, he did a ton of damage behind this. He kind of messed up versus the Oracle just a little bit, but he was ahead enough to keep on macroing well and secure himself the first victory. So Oz, I mean, from there, he has to decide, does he keep on going for his own style, or does he try and play a little bit more standard to be safe against this kind of aggressive play that we might see from EffOrt?
Well, the map is Derelict Watcher, and that can be a little bit scary here for the Protoss. So we'll see what we're going to see from Oz in just a little bit. I don't think he actually opens up in a similar fashion. I think he has to kind of change it up with the fact that EffOrt can throw that spanner in the works. So we'll find out. EffOrt's 1 game up, 1 game away from advancing on to contend for that next spot. It's an important one.
Is Oz going to fall victim to the AG curse?
I don't know, man. I don't know. The winner plays Dream, right? To see who advances onto the group
This is a really
stage.
tough match.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Dream is so good.
The open brackets just in general are really, really stacked.
Yeah.
This level of Korean play, I mean, Oz, again, Oz is a guy that was at season finals in WCS. And then EffOrt comes along in game number 1 in this weird kind of quirky way and is able to vanquish him. That's pretty cool. So we'll see what I can do in game number 2. Derelict Watcher, our map. Let's get right on into things as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner our red Protoss representing evil geniuses. It is Oz. And spawning up to the top right, our blue Zerg representing CJ Entus. It is EffOrt.
And it's interesting that Oz removed Whirlwind, a bit of a Naniwa move there. Naniwa is one of the very few Protoss that always removes Whirlwinds. #1 veto versus Zerg. Most Protosses, they will veto Derelicts, you know, back in the old days, they will remove Star Station, Neoplanet, and nowadays, Polar Knight has been very high up there on the removal or veto for the Protoss players. But Oz, he went for Whirlwind and what was it? Another map? But not Derelict. Derelict is supposed to be pretty high up there with Polar Knight. I think it's the 2 maps that I probably myself will remove right now.
Yeah.
But instead of that, he vetoed Whirlwind. So now he finds himself playing on Derelicts. Does he have a style that he thinks work better on this map than it would on Whirlwind? Or, I mean, has he just lost too much on Whirlwind versus Mutas? I guess we are going to see here if he goes for something special. But very quick pull here by EffOrt.
Yep. Very quick pull indeed, and
if Oz goes for the same thing here, this could be disastrous.
Yeah, it really could. I still feel that because we saw EffOrt do what he did in game number 1, Oz has to change because there is always that threat, and a threat looms, which is very, very similar here. So he has to be careful, and he's gonna head on down here to see if there's any proxy hatch, and then go straight on over.
I think he wants to go for the same thing. He goes for the second pylon in his main, and this is no good here. When you know a Zerg is likely to do those kind of Zerglings attacks, you definitely need to play safer. Getting a gas here, letting the Zealot finish will be great.
Especially if he gets on that pylon as well, next to the gateway. What can you do?
You know,
Not
I
a whole
recently
lot.
played live in a tournament, and I know he likes to go for those attacks. So
Yeah.
I made wall at my ramp, and I let the Zealot finish instead of cancelling it. And I was supposed to be in a good position, but I still got smacked around. But the point is, if you know someone likes to do those attacks, you should prepare yourself, and you can get ahead early on just by outsmarting your opponents, which Oz here is actually changing it up. He's not going to throw down the Nexus, having seen those Zerglings, he's going to adapt. He's going to throw down double gas behind this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a second Zealot starting as well before the core even. And that's exactly what we see.
Yeah, I mean, at least with that probe scout, he did, know exactly what's coming at him, so he can adapt to it, as you've rightly said. So there's not going to be too much of a huge disadvantage here for Oz, as EffOrt's just going to he's just expanding behind this and getting a few drones out to try and consolidate the losses that he took after taking such a aggressive stance early on.
EffOrt, he wants to go for the third base. Oh,
Yeah.
the probe barely. Did he see the drone?
I think he saw the drone.
And quite a few Zerglings down the ramp here. It's going to force those Zealots to come down if they want to clear this. But if they come down, the Lynx get into the main. And if only one of them comes down, it gets taken out. And I think Oz,
He threw down a forge.
he wants to cannon that expansion.
He does, yeah.
I'm actually surprised. And this is going to be spotted here by EffOrt. He kind of feels was looking for this.
Can he wall that in fully?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can.
But I mean,
Alright.
can the cannon finish? No, it can't.
No,
There's
there's
a
a
queen.
queen, yeah.
Already going to town on this cannon. Oz has to cancel both buildings here, and this is going to be a disastrous loss. He lost
This
a
was
bit of
weird.
money on these buildings he had to cancel, and he's going to lose a bit of money with this pylon he had to make for nothing.
I have a question. If you're going to do that in Oz's shoes, wouldn't it have been better to go to the third to try it?
No, because you need to make the cannons before the hatchery has 1,000 hit points for it to finish after the hatch. So then, if he had made like 2 cannons or more, and then EffOrt cancels, it's like a huge investment for nothing. EffOrt just takes another third. So he had to cannon the natural.
So you think EffOrt would have always checked around the third as well with that drone that was going down?
No. I mean that Oz's cannons, they would have finished before the hatchery on the third.
But
which
if
would have been really bad.
right?
Yeah, but I mean, you just
the Lynx
cancel
were
as
on
a
the other
Zerg,
side.
and you lose 75 minerals against like 450 for the Protoss.
All right. Okay then. Well, a few more Zerglings are on the way. Queen's coming out as well. I love our little arguments, Todd. It's great fun. And
It's not an argument, it's me telling you how it is.
all right. And well, let's see what Oz is going to actually do from this point on. I would like to see Stargate in this game. I love seeing Stargate play against Zerg players from our Protoss dudes, and I think he can make it work a lot better here. Obviously, because he's in a much more advantageous position as he was before.
Whoa, wait a second.
He just cancelled the weapons upgrade.
Yeah. Wants to use his gas for something else, but he has plenty of it.
Sentry?
Oh, an Overlord was flying in there.
What?
He didn't want the Overlord to spot the +1.
Sneaky.
This is weird. And those Zealots, they're going to get killed here. But not before trading against some of those Zerglings. Nice micro by Oz.
Yeah, very nice. And oh, focus is down.
Come on, you can do it.
Oh,
Rocky Balboa.
Oh,
No! It dies.
what a shame. Oh well. It was a nice attempt. In compensation, 12 drones on the way for EffOrt, so he's rocketing up in terms of that drone production. And he starts his speed as well and gets a load of gases up and running.
2 extra gateways. So going up to 4 gateways, I definitely think Oz is going to be going for some kind of pressure here very soon. And I really don't see why he cancelled the +1. I mean, this really would have helped. I mean, if he had gateways ready and he wanted to get extra sentries for very quick pressure, okay. But now he had plenty of gas anyway, so why cancel? Oh, he hallucinates a War Prism and sends it across the map. Cute move here, but I mean, this at best will force some units out of his opponent. But the thing is, there isn't even an Overlord in the middle of the map to spot this. So realistically, EffOrt will see it, will start attacking it with his Queen, and he's going to be like, is this guy kidding me?
It's like not doing
This is
anything.
an hallucination. I'm a Caspa player. Who do you think I am?
Well, there's a few Lings on the way actually, but these are just kind of not in. These are not in response to that hallucinated War Prism because he just hasn't seen it yet. He now sees it, and does he start any more units? I don't think so. He's already started spores as well, just because he doesn't really know fully what his opponent's up to, right? And look, he pushes that way. It's like, this is weird. Bye bye. And now the real
he
War
cancels the
Prism.
spore on the expansion too.
Dude, the real War Prism is now in production.
Oh, and he cancelled all the spores. I really like this move. Just because the Overseer got in time into the natural and saw the Robo, he knows he doesn't need spores. He knows there is no Stargate, no Dark Templars coming, and EffOrt is playing so... I'm actually legit surprised. I knew this guy was good, but he's playing so well in this series. Not just in the first game, here as well. He's making every reads right, except maybe His creep spread is a little bit lackluster.
Yeah.
Hasn't even started yet. Other than that,
well.
everything has been perfect.
And he's even spreading actually creep between his main and natural with the overlords. So I think he realizes this one's real. I think he realizes.
He should know the trick that Oz is going for, but no! He doesn't send any units up the ramp!
But no,
he's falling for the trick of Oz!
He's got a load of Hydralisks in production though, and it's only got sentries in. It's just the 4 sentries, so I think he can defend it.
Oh, but if... Oh my god.
There we go.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of Hydralisks coming from the expansion here. Imagine he had dropped those on the ramp and started warping in a ton of Zealots.
They went in the main.
He's on 4 gateways. No, 6 gateways now, and the Zerglings get into the natural for Oz.
Nice run by here. Might be able to get quite a few probes. Splits up the Zerglings to make a little bit more of a hazard. As well, they will clean up in the natural, but how well will they do in the main? How many workers did he get in the end there? Just like 3, but it really disrupts mining, etc.
And by the way, absolutely brilliant choice by EffOrt here not to go for any roaches. He's going for pure Zergling and Hydralisk, which is going to do well against this kind of immortal push.
Such a strong combo.
I think EffOrt is looking for a 2-0 here.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, those sentries, unless they can get a really good position somehow on a map that's so open in between that 2nd and 3rd base, he's going to have a really, really hard time of cleaning up. The Zerglings are just going to wrap around everything.
EffOrt, he lost to Dream 0-2 previously in this brackets. He wants his revenge, and here he's looking great in this game, I think, versus Oz with the many Hydralisks that he has. If he reinforces and picks a good concave here, which it does look like he's going to be able to get in the next fight, I think he's going to be able to secure himself the win.
Yeah, Oz has to be very, very careful about how he takes this. A great time warp as well with force field.
Good force field.
Actually catch a lot of those Hydralisks, negating a lot of the damage.
Oh my god.
The Zerglings didn't even get the wraparound either, but there's not that many force fields left over. He's having to throw them down haphazardly. And the Hydralisks, they are doing some damage, but there's a lot of Protoss still here.
Those were some absolutely sick force fields, and Micro in general. The time warp was great, the force fields were great. EffOrt has to pull back and reinforce before he can re-engage as well. Muscular augments on the way, 15 seconds away from finishing, 10 Hydralisks, 16 Zerglings. Can EffOrt get enough to hold this? EffOrt has a nice worker lead, but I mean, this is not going to help against this. He might have to pull drones from his 3rd base to fight against this army of his opponent. And you know what? Oz could force field the natural of his opponent and move into the 3rd base.
There's like one wave of good force fields left in that army for now, but it depends on where EffOrt's actually going to position himself. He sends a Ling in and actually spots everything that's going on in his opponent's main, so he knows this is it. You know,
the one Zergling run by in the main.
And has to be careful. This is not a good position for EffOrt to be engaging in. He actually negates so many of those Hydralisks at the back. Great force field, warping in a few more Stalkers as well to try and counteract this. With those Trons even in the fray, he separates, divides, and tries to conquer. He needs to throw down force fields behind him. This is really, really important for Oz, as he now moves up into the main 3rd base even. Needs to warp in a few more sentries to try and hold off some of those Hydralisks that are now closing the gap, bringing down that Warp Prism. No more reinforcements. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. The Hydralisks keep powering down. GG. EffOrt takes the series 2-0 and eliminates EG Oz.
And this was a scary fight.
Yeah.
That first big fight, I was like, well, I guess Oz wins after all those force fields and getting rid of the army of that first wave of army of EffOrt. I really thought Oz was going to be able to take it, and then suddenly EffOrt, he found the patience that he had to use before in the game maybe. But I guess this was very tricky. As I said, like, he could have been force fielded off in one of his bases and then attacked in the other one, so he had to be standing down there. And the concave, it was good, but Oz's force field plus time warp were great this game, as opposed to the first game. Remember in the first game, he completely missed those force fields when he went for the counter on the 3rd base. And EffOrt is just like me, you're gonna walk off and
he just goes away.
no, he's gonna shake Oz's hands. Maybe console him a little bit, maybe apologize for winning. I know a few players do that because they feel bad for the opponent. Yeah. Sorry, man, I was just better.
I'm sure that gives them a lot of reassurance, Todd. I want that to happen next time you win. Anyway, so that means CJ Entus's EffOrt will advance on to play against Dream to find out who advances on to the group stage. And that is going to be a very, very cool game. I actually haven't seen too much of EffOrt's TVZ, but just in general, what we saw from Dream was really, really cool against Curious, really stretching Curious to the very brink.
Who do you think is the favorite?
I would go with Dream. I think Dream showed some really good TVZ.
He beat EffOrt 2-0 in the first round of this tournament, and then he beat Oz 2-0 as well. So
Dream, man.
Yeah, Dream is not messing around. Only Curious was able to beat him. I'm sure EffOrt got a look at those games and It's going to be interesting.
I think Dream's really underrated, just in general. I mean, ever since we saw him at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, where he had a stellar performance and was just pipped at the post at the very, very end, he has looked really phenomenal. He's only 17 years old and has good results elsewhere, but nobody ever really says, yeah, he's like a top Terran or whatever. They always think of, you know, the innovations and all sorts of players. So I think Dream.
I like how you say Dream is underrated. He's not if you're a pro gamer and you have to play him.
No, I know, man. I know. Like,
I mean, in the scene.
Yeah, just in general, for you know, fans out there. So I think Dream is very, very good.
Dreamy.
He's dreamy. Oh, he's lovely. All right, guys, that does it for us. We are going to send it over to the great grandfather of esports. It's Paul Red Eye Shalona.
So many puns. It's unbelievable. Pun-believable. Congratulations, EffOrt. Fantastic game. And talk us through the two maps, because they seem to be over so quickly. And I just wondered, from your point of view, did everything go to plan, or did you just react to how things happened in the game?
개인적으로 게임 한 거에 대한 내용을 한번 설명해 준다면 어땠었는지.
그냥 학수 이제 오즈 선수랑 이제 개인적으로 친분 있는 상태이고, 이제 연습 경기도 몇 번 하다 보니까 그냥 약간 스타일에 이제 맞춰서 제가 경기를 할 수 있었던 것 같고, 그게 잘 들어맞으면서 이제 2대 0으로 이제 손쉽게 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
So actually I'm pretty close friends with Oz, and we practiced a lot together, so I could really make specific build orders against him and win pretty easily.
Okay, how much practice did you put in before you came to the Intel Extreme Masters in Singapore? Did you get a good practice regime in?
싱가포르 오기 전에 일부러 이 IEM을 위한 연습을 했었는지, 얼마나 연습을 했는지 알고 싶어요.
사실 이제 해외 대회 이번에 이제 처음 참가하게 됐는데, 스타투로 바뀌고 나서, 네, 그래서 이번에 꼭 와서 좋은 성적을 내고 싶어서 정말 쉬는 날에도 연습 열심히 하고 했는데, 아직 이제 기회는 남아 있으니까 앞으로 이제 잘하면 된다는 생각을 가지고 이제 열심히 임할 생각입니다.
This is my first StarCraft 2 event outside of Korea, so I really practiced a lot in Korea and hope to get really good results here.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because we're used to seeing you in the Pro League and playing through that, but to come here and come to a different environment, how different is it for you in terms of the way that it's set up and it's playing?
한국에서 이제 프로리그 하는 모습을 많이 봤었는데 해외 나와가지고 이제 게임을 해보니까 느낌이 어떠신지?
사실 브루드워 때도 이제 블리즈컨 대회 열었을 때 한 번 나와서 한 적이 있었어요. 브루드워 때는. 근데 그때와는 이제 사뭇 또 다른 느낌이고, 이렇게 해외 대회에 나와서 이제 여러 이제 외국인 분들하고 이제 다른 팬분들하고 같이 이제 소통하면서 이제 경기에 임할 수 있어서 되게 좋은 자리인 것 같아요.
Well, I used to play Brood War, and I used to participate in BlizzCon in Brood War, so I kind of knew the feeling, but it's still a different experience to play StarCraft 2 in outside of Korea, so it's fun, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you're having fun. Next match is against Dream. If you win against Dream, that's it. You're through to the round of 16. Got any special build orders for him? Have you know how he plays and you know how you want to play against him?
다음 상대는 이제 드림 선수인데, 드림 선수는 잘 아는지, 그리고 뭐 준비한 게 있는지.
사실 지금 이제 패자조에 있는데요. 아까 첫 상대에서 이제 드림 선수를 만났는데 제가 졌어요. 그래서 지금 복수할 기회가 생겨서 굉장히 기대가 되고, 뭐 개인적으로는 이제 친분이 없는 상대입니다.
Well, I played him in the winner bracket before and lost to him, so this will be the time to take revenge on him. So I'll pretty much win, yeah.
All right, well, congratulations and best of luck against Dream. That match is coming next, and we will also have one more game after that as well, because the loser of the next game will take on Avenge for our 5th and final place in the round of 16. Those 16 players are almost sewn up, and this man EffOrt is just one game away now from reaching the round of 16. We'll take a quick break now, and when we come back, it'll be EffOrt versus Dream.